everyone. Welcome back to our channel, the podcast where we turn your language struggles into your biggest strengths. I'm Sarah.
And I'm John. We are so glad you've tuned in today. If you've ever felt that frozen feeling, when you want to speak English, but you're so afraid of saying the wrong word that you just stay silent, then this episode is specifically for you.
Oh, I know that feeling all too well, John. Even now when I learn a new skill, that little voice in my head says, don't mess up. But today, we're going to tell you why you should mess up. In fact, we want you to celebrate your mistakes.
That's right. We're breaking down the science of trial and error and sharing some of our own most embarrassing language fails. Trust me, if I can survive calling a boss a box in a board meeting, you can survive anything.
A box? We definitely need to hear that story later. But first, let's talk about why our brains are actually hardwired to learn better when we get things wrong. John, I was thinking about this morning. I was at a coffee shop and I saw a student. I could tell he was an English learner because he had a grammar book on the table. He spent 2 hours staring at a page about the present perfect tense. 2 hours! But he never even looked up to talk to the barista.
That's what I call the perfect trap, Sarah. It's a real tragedy in the language world. We spend so much time trying to be 100% correct in our heads that we never actually produce a sentence. We are so afraid that if we say, I have went instead of I have gone, the world will stop spinning.
Exactly. And it's funny because, to be honest, as native speakers, we aren't perfect either. I mean, think about how many times you've tripped over your words today already.
At least 5 times before breakfast. The thing is, when we speak our native language, we don't care about mistakes. If I say, hey, did you see that thing, the movie? I don't go home and cry about my grammar, but English learners often do. They feel like a mistake is a reflection of their intelligence.
That is such a good point. We need to separate English ability from intelligence. Just because you can't find the word for refrigerator doesn't mean you aren't a smart person. It just means you're learning a code, and codes take time to crack.
Let's talk about the aha moment. That's that magical, slightly painful moment when you realize you've been saying something wrong for a long time.
Oh, I have a great story about a friend from Spain. For years, she would tell people, I am very embarrassed. But in Spanish, the word embarazada actually means pregnant.
Oh no, that's a classic false friend mistake.
Right. So she was at a business dinner and she made a small mistake. And she wanted to say, I'm embarrassed. But she said, I'm pregnant. The whole table went silent. She was so confused why everyone was congratulating her.
That's hilarious. But here is the important part. Did she die? No. Did she stop learning? No. Actually, that story became her favorite thing to tell at parties. She learned the difference between embarrassed and pregnant so deeply that she will never, ever forget it for the rest of her life.
That's the gift of a mistake. It creates a strong emotional memory. When you just read a list of words in a book, your brain says, okay, whatever. But when you have a funny or awkward moment using a word, your brain says, hey, remember this. This is important.
I think we need to change how we define a successful conversation. Most learners think success equals 0 mistakes.
That's a terrible definition. If that's the rule, then nobody is successful.
Right. To me, success equals communication. If you want a coffee and you go into a shop and say, give me black water with bean juice, and the barista hands you a coffee, you won. You successfully transferred a thought from your brain to their brain.
Black water with bean juice. I love it. It's poetic, really. But you're right. Even if the grammar is broken, the connection is made. And as you get more comfortable making those broken sentences, your brain naturally starts to smooth them out over time.
It's like carving a path through a forest. At first, there are weeds and branches everywhere. Those are your mistakes. It's messy. But the more you walk that path, the smoother it becomes. You can't get a smooth path without walking through the weeds first.
So, let's get practical. Let's say a listener is in a meeting or a conversation, and they realize right in the middle of a sentence that they used the wrong word. What should they do?
First, take a breath. Don't panic. My favorite trick is using the phrase, I mean, or what I meant to say was.
Yes, those are filler phrases. They are so natural. If you say, he doesn't like pizza, it actually makes you sound more fluent. It shows you have the self-correction skill.
Another tip is to shadow the correct version. If you say, I am cook dinner, and your friend says, oh, you're cooking dinner? Don't just say yes. Say, yes, I am cooking dinner. Repeat the correct version immediately. It's like a free mini lesson.
And my biggest tip, smile. If you make a mistake and you look terrified, the other person feels uncomfortable. But if you make a mistake, laugh a little and say, sorry, my brain is still in morning mode. The other person relaxes. It makes the conversation feel friendly instead of like an exam.
I want to end this main segment with a challenge for everyone listening. We always tell people, don't be afraid, but let's be more specific.
What's the challenge, John?
This week, I want you to go out and aim to make 3 mistakes. Go to a language exchange or call a friend and try to use a grammar structure you aren't 100% sure about.
I love that. Instead of trying to be perfect, your goal is to fail 3 times. It takes all the pressure off. If you make a mistake, you can say, yes, that's 1. I only need 2 more.
Exactly. Because the only way to lose at English is to stay silent. If you are talking, you are winning. If you are making mistakes, you are growing.
So true. Mistakes aren't the holes in your path. They are the stepping stones. Every oops is a step toward fluent. Well, John, I think we've covered a lot today. I hope our listeners are feeling a little bit more relaxed about those oops moments now.
I hope so too. Just remember, English is a tool, not a trophy. You don't just put it on a shelf to look pretty. You use it, you get it dirty, and you fix it as you go.
Exactly. And to everyone listening out there, if you had a funny language mistake this week, we want to hear about it. Seriously, don't keep those stories to yourself.
Yeah! Send us an email or leave a comment on our page. Tell us what you said and what you meant to say. We'll read the best ones in our next episode so we can all have a good laugh and learn together.
It helps to know you're not alone. We're all in this messy learning boat together.
Definitely. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us on The Fearless Learner.
Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. And remember, speak up, stay curious, and don't you dare be afraid of making mistakes.
We'll catch you in the next one. Happy learning, everyone.
Bye-bye.